When the day of Pentecost had come, the disciples were all together in one place. And suddenly, from the sky, there came a sound like the rush of a violent wind, and it filled the entire house where they were sitting.
Divided tongues as of fire appeared among them, and a tongue rested on each of them. All of them were filled with the Holy Spirit and began to speak in other languages as the Spirit gave them ability.
Now there were devout Jews from every nation under the sky living in Jerusalem. And at this sound the crowd gathered and was bewildered,
because each one heard them speaking in the native language of each. Amazed and astonished, they asked,
"Are not all of these who are speaking Galileans? And how is it that we hear, each of us, in our own native language?"
Parthians,
Medes, Elamites, and residents of Mesopotamia,
Judea and Cappadocia,
Pontus and Asia, Phrygia and Pamphylia,
Egypt,
and the parts of Libya belonging to Cyrene,
and visitors from Rome,
both Jews and proselytes.
Cretans and Arabs. In our own languages, we hear them speaking about God's deeds of power.
All were amazed and perplexed, saying to one another, "What does this mean?"
But others sneered and said,
"They are filled with new wine."
But Peter, standing with the 11, raised his voice and addressed them. "Judeans and all who stay in Jerusalem, let this be known to you, and listen to what I say. Indeed, these are not drunk, as you suppose, for it is only 9 o'clock in the morning. No, this is what was spoken through the prophet Joel.
"In the last days it will be, God declares, that I will pour out my spirit among all flesh, and your sons and daughters shall prophesy, and your young folk shall see visions, and your old folk shall dream dreams.
Even upon slaves, both men and women, in those days I will pour out my spirit, and they shall prophesy. And I will show portents in the heaven above, and signs on the earth below,
Blood and fire and smoky mist. The sun shall be turned to darkness, and the moon to blood, before the coming of the Lord's great and glorious day. Then everyone who calls on the name of the Lord shall be saved."
Lovely. Could you go and stand by him, and if you could just read that final thing once he gets there. If you just stand next to him. If you read that final sentence together.
Right, the bit about...
Then everyone who calls... Yeah. Chord track immediately after that.
Shall I give it... How do we do it? I give John a nudge and then we
Yep.
start reading.
Yep, that's fine. Yep.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, we're all saying the last sentence.
Yeah. Give you a nudge.
Then everyone who calls on the name of the Lord shall be saved.
Thank you very much.